All right, today we're going to pull back the curtain on a pretty sophisticated AI. It was built to solve a problem that, let's be honest, just about every big company on the planet faces. How do you even begin to understand that chaotic flood of feedback you get from your customers?
You've totally been there, right? I know I have. You spend all this time typing out a super detailed email or filling out one of those online forms. You hit send, and then nothing. It feels like you've just launched your message straight into a black hole. And you're left wondering, did a real person even read this? And if they did, how on earth do they find the one person who can actually fix my problem?
So, let's take a company like the high-speed rail operator SRT. For them, it is not a trickle of feedback. It's a full-on flood every single day. We're talking thousands of messages, what the industry calls voice of the customer data. And it covers everything you can imagine, from simple refund requests to really serious safety concerns. Just trying to manage that chaos, well, it's a monumental task.
So, to solve this very problem, they built something called the SRT AIR. And at its heart, it's an AI system with one single core mission: to intelligently understand, sort, and then help respond to every single piece of feedback that comes in. It's literally designed to bring order to all that chaos.
Okay, so how does this thing actually work? Well, the first big job for the AI is kind of like a digital sorting hat. It has to read a complaint and almost instantly figure out which department is the absolute best one to handle it.
Now, what's really cool is that the AI doesn't just use one single method to make its decision. No, it actually consults what you can think of as a panel of experts. The head of the panel, with a 40% say, is something called an embedding model. This one is smart. It understands the meaning and the context behind the words you use. Then, backing it up, you've got a keyword detective that's just looking for specific important terms, and a classic machine learning model that's been trained on tons of past data. By weighing all their votes together, the AI makes a way more accurate choice than any one of them could alone.
And believe me, this is not a simple choice. The AI has to pick the right team from 25 different departments. Think about it. Is a complaint about a shaky train ride an issue for vehicle technology, or is it a more serious safety issue? Is a question about a discount something for customer promotions, or should it go to sales operations? The AI has to figure this out, and it has to do it in seconds.
Okay, so the complaint is sorted and sent to the right people. But that's only half the battle, right? Let's move on to the next piece of the puzzle. How does the AI actually help craft the perfect response?
The AI follows this very logical, five-step thought process every single time. First, it classifies the question. What kind of problem is this? Then step 2, it does a quick check. Have I answered this exact question recently? If the answer is no, it moves to step 3, a smart search for any relevant documents or past cases that could help. It's only then, in step 4, that it brings in the big guns, a large language model to generate a brand new, context-aware answer. And finally, it delivers that smart answer. See? Super efficient, super methodical.
And this is what I think is so brilliant. It shows the system isn't just a one-trick pony. It's a real strategist. So for something like a refund request, it knows the most important thing is to find the official company policy, right? So it searches documents first. But for a potential safety concern, it completely changes its priority. It goes straight to the raw intelligence of the language model to understand every little bit of nuance in that situation. It literally adapts its game plan for every single type of problem.
All right, an AI this smart is fantastic, but it's totally useless if it's not secure or fast. So let's dig into how this system was actually engineered to survive and thrive in a really high-stakes, real-world environment.
Okay, maybe the most crucial design principle here is something they call offline first. And what that means is the entire AI system, we're talking its powerful language models and everything, runs in a completely sealed-off environment. It has zero connection to the public internet. Think of it like a digital vault. This ensures that all that sensitive customer data stays completely private and totally secure.
Now, beyond just security, you've got to have speed, especially the speed of learning. See, the system is constantly learning from new customer feedback to get smarter. The old way of doing this, it was slow, painfully slow. You'd feed the AI new information one little piece at a time. But the new way, it's all about efficiency. It processes all that new info in smart, organized batches. And this gives you a peek under the hood at that performance overhaul. So before, the system processed new data one by one. Now, it handles it in these efficient little batches of 16. Another big change, it used to have to save to its memory after every single tiny step. Super slow. Now, it just saves everything once, right at the very end.
I know these changes might sound small, but trust me, their combined effect on speed is absolutely massive.
And here's the punchline. All those optimizations, they made the system for importing and learning from new data 2.4 times faster. That is a huge leap in efficiency, and it means the AI can get smarter way quicker.
So, let's step back for a second. What does all of this really mean in the grand scheme of things? Why does a system like this actually matter so much?
Well, it's a true win-win-win situation. For the company, it's a massive win. They save an incredible amount of time and resources. For the employees, it's also a win. They get this powerful, intelligent assistant that handles all the tedious sorting and research, which frees them up to focus on solving the really complex human problems. And maybe most importantly, for you, the customer, it's a huge win. You get a response that is faster, more consistent, and way more accurate because it's backed by the full knowledge of the entire organization.
So the final thought I want to leave you with is this. We started this whole thing talking about that feeling, of sending your feedback into a black hole. This system, this is the exact opposite of that. It's an intelligent, organized, and responsive listening engine. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? What would it be like if every single company you deal with could actually listen this intelligently?